Ladies and gentlemen, today we're breaking down 10% leave now signals, what they look like, the psychology behind them, when to give grace, and when to get out. I'll give real examples, quick tests you can run, and a few lines you can use to exit with your dignity intact. Jessica OS here. Welcome to the channel. Let's jump in. Number one is weaponized ambiguity. I'll explain now. Now, have you ever noticed how some women keep you close without ever calling it what it is? She's hot on Monday, cold Thursday, let's not rush, right? But she still wants all the boyfriend benefits. That's control. If she can keep you guessing, she can keep you chasing. And this is what it looks like. She'll say she's not ready, but gets jealous if you talk to other women. She cancels dates last minute, but wants good morning texts every day. She posts single energy online and calls you my person in private. Here's the truth. Clarity is respect. If she won't give you clarity, she doesn't respect you. A good question to ask when seeking clarity is, what are we building specifically over the next 90 days? Then be quiet. Let the answer land. Green light answers should sound something like this. I want exclusivity. Let's see each other twice a week. If it keeps working, we commit. A red light answer will sound like this. I don't like labels, or just let it flow. Or why do we need to define it? If her answers confuse you more, that's your answer. Your boundary should be, well, I give commitment where there's commitment. If you want casual, I'll match your energy and move accordingly. Now, of course, there's no hard and fast rule when it comes to love. There are occasions where you must give her grace. For example, maybe it's early days in your relationship and you've only gone on 2 dates, right? A little patience is fine. She's been transparent about healing from a breakup, maybe, and you agreed on a timeline. That's fair. Anything beyond that, though, just turns into stalling. 2, public disrespect. Now, the first time she makes you a punchline in front of people you respect, she's testing where your dignity ends and her entertainment begins. It could look like this. For instance, she'll correct your story mid-sentence to embarrass you, or she jokes about your money or your height in front of friends, or she calls you soft broke, not man enough at a dinner table. She flirts with other guys, maybe while you're standing there, and then says, oh, relax, it's just banter. Here's the truth. Disrespect is a relationship cancer. Once contempt shows up, love will start counting down. So here's a quick self-check. Would you accept similar behavior from a close friend? Would she do the same thing to her boss? If the answers are no or no way, you're not being teased, you're being lowered. So this is what you can do at the moment. Keep it calm and keep it clean. Just say, hey, we're not doing insults. If you need me, I'll be over there, right? Then remove your attention and walk away. No lecture, no scene. You're showing self-respect without the drama. And later, when you get a chance, always emphasize your boundary. Say something like, look, earlier you joked about my money in front of my friends, and that crosses my boundaries. Make sure it doesn't happen again. If it does, I'm out. Say it once, then stop talking and watch her behavior. However, this is when you must leave fast. If the behavior repeats itself, she allows friends or family to disrespect you, laughs along, etc. Never accept a private apology for a public violation without a public correction. It doesn't matter if your chemistry is strong. Chemistry will not fix contempt. Number 3, sabotaging your purpose. So, are you with a woman who guilt trips you for working? Does she start fights the night before big meetings? Does she say, well, you love your job more than me? Or maybe she mocks your goals, your gym routine, your study time. She calls non-emergencies emergencies whenever you need to focus. The truth is, a woman who respects you protects your focus, right? If you're with one who competes with your mission, she's competing with the man that you're becoming now. A workaround will be to give structure a chance before you decide to walk. What do I mean? Share a weekly plan. So you can say something like, look, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 to 9 p.m. is time for deep work. Saturday mornings, gym errands. Friday night is ours, right? Define what emergency means clearly. So health, safety, family, not boredom, not fear of missing out, none of that stuff. You can give grace. It's important. Maybe in early days when you're both adjusting to routines or you've been overworking and neglecting the relationship. However, you should leave quick if she mocks your ambition after you've set a clear plan. If she punishes you for saying no to last-minute hangouts, something you could say to her is, my future won't argue with me. Since this keeps turning into a fight, I'll end it here. I'm wishing you the best. Number 4, chronic boundary pushing. Some people don't hear no, they hear try harder. When a woman keeps testing your limits after you've stated them clearly, it's not miscommunication. It's a compatibility issue and a respect issue. This is what it looks like. Maybe she forgets the same boundary every week. She minimizes it. Relax, it's not that deep. She may reframe it. If you're confident, this wouldn't bother you. She punishes you for holding the line while sulking, giving you silent treatment or withholding affection. She apologizes and then repeats it with a new excuse. Here's the rule. Boundaries are not negotiations. You don't argue for them, you enforce them, all right? Say it once clearly with a consequence attached. You can use this framework. When X happens, I feel Y, my boundary is Z, and if it happens again, I'll do W, right? Or to put it in words, when you keep flirty contact with your ex, I feel the relationship isn't protected. My boundary is no romantic contact with exes. If it continues, I'll step away. You can give grace, however, when you never stated your boundary clearly. So fix that first, however. This is when you should leave quick. Maybe she mocks the boundaries you set or calls you controlling for having one she accidentally repeats after you tied a consequence to her breaking those boundaries. She uses affection, sex, or public shaming to force compliance. You've been forced once and she escalates instead of adjusting, right? Here's one scene to picture. You've agreed on no flirty DMs. A week later, she posts a bikini reel and replies, "Thank you, babe," with hearts to a random guy. You address it calmly and she says, "You're insecure," right? And then she does it again tomorrow. That's not a misunderstanding, it's a decision. So you need to make yours tell her, "I'm not asking for permission to have standards. I'm telling you how I operate. If that doesn't work for you, we're not a fit." Remember, good women aren't scared of boundaries. Number 5 is what I call the Darvo flip. Now, some arguments aren't about the truth. They're more about control. Now, DARVO stands for deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. I'll explain. You raise a real concern, she denies it, attacks your character, and suddenly you're apologizing for bringing it up. The original issue would disappear, and your sanity will go with it. You say, "Hey, you lied about where you were." She fires back, "Well, you're controlling. You're crazy." You bring up flirty DMs. She digs up a 6-month-old mistake of yours and makes that the topic. So, here's what I want you to ask yourself. Do you leave every conflict defending your tone and not the topic? Does she add 3 new accusations every time you raise one issue? Can she repeat your concern back accurately? If not, you're being dodged and not heard. So here are a couple of rules to help you restore your sanity. What I call the 1-issue rule. We're discussing one issue at a time, and tonight is issue X, the no shift rule. If the topic shifts or gets personal, I'm pausing this conversation and we can revisit it tomorrow. The accountability standard. Accountability sounds like this. I did 10th. It affected you, why? And here's how I'll change. Now, this can't always be fixed. Sometimes you just have to leave quick. And here's when every disagreement ends with you apologizing for bringing it up. When she uses insults, public smear posts, or recruits friends and family to gang up on you. Or maybe you set a count boundary once and forced it once and the pattern escalates. You should say something like, "We have different definitions of respect and responsibility. I'm ending it here and I wish you well." Remember, love can't grow where accountability won't live. Number 6, triangulation and orbiters. So triangulation is where she keeps other men in orbit to make you compete. Exes, work husbands, flirty besties, old flames who never leave, right? You're not dating one person. It's like you're auditioning in a crowd. It looks like this. She tells stories about how many guys won't stop DMing. She name drops another man right after a disagreement. She compares you and says, "My ex used to plan better," right? She keeps a flirty coworker close and calls it harmless. She refuses basic transparency but demands devotion from you. The truth is, jealousy should not be a tool she uses to train your behavior. If she needs competition to stay interested, she's not ready for a committed relationship. And you need to see that. The transparency test you should use is this. Say something like, "Look, I don't date in triangles. If he's just a friend, introduce us and keep it respectful. Watch your reaction." Women with nothing to hide won't mind light and clarity. Standards that protect the relationship. No flirty DMs with friends, no private calls with exes. When a man enters a relationship, he does so hoping to find peace, trust, and emotional safety. Yet many ignore the quiet red flags that show long before the heartbreak. You see, love isn't destroyed overnight. It erodes in small moments. When respect fades, when manipulation begins to hide behind affection, when silence starts to speak louder than words, if she does these 10 things, you must leave her quickly, not out of pride, but out of self-respect, because the man who stays where his peace is dying ends up losing not just his partner, but himself. The first sign is subtle but deadly. She disrespects your time. A woman who constantly cancels plans, shows up late, or keeps you waiting without apology is showing you how little she values your presence. Respect begins with time. When she treats your schedule like it's flexible while demanding precision from you, she's teaching you that her world matters more than yours. Love without mutual respect turns into silent resentment. Don't beg for time from someone who doesn't see your worth. When a woman values you, she aligns her priorities to meet you halfway. When she doesn't every moment, together becomes an inconvenience she tolerates instead of a joy she chooses. The second sign, she uses emotions as weapons. There's a difference between a woman who feels deeply and one who manipulates feelings to control outcomes. If she cries every time you hold her accountable, withdraws affection when she doesn't get her way, or turns every disagreement into your fault, she's not seeking understanding. She's seeking dominance. Emotional blackmail is a silent killer of masculine confidence. You'll find yourself apologizing for things you didn't do just to restore peace. But peace built on fear is not love, it's imprisonment. A healthy woman can disagree without disrespect. She can feel hurt without humiliating. If she constantly uses tears, silence, or guilt to bend your will, understand this. She's not nurturing your heart. She's training it to obey. The third sign, she secretly competes with you. Love should be a partnership, not a scoreboard. Yet some women hide deep insecurities beneath ambition. And instead of celebrating your wins, they compare them to their own. You'll notice she mocks your dreams, subtly criticizes your progress, or downplays your success as luck. Her compliments are conditional, her support transactional. This is not partnership, it's rivalry disguised as romance. A woman who competes with you will never feel safe enough to admire you, and a man who constantly defends his accomplishments at home eventually stops dreaming altogether. A healthy woman sees your strength and feels inspired, not threatened. She doesn't want to outshine you, she wants to build with you. But if her ego needs you small to feel big, leave. The fourth sign, she lacks accountability. Every argument somehow becomes your fault. Every bad day has a reason that traces back to you. When she hurts you, she blames stress, hormones, or how you made her feel. She apologizes with excuses, not remorse. This pattern destroys emotional balance because relationships require two people who can say, "I was wrong." Without accountability, trust rots. You start walking on eggshells, terrified of triggering her next outburst. And when love becomes a battlefield where one partner always wins and the other always bleeds, peace cannot survive. The fifth sign, she disrespects you publicly. Pay attention to how she talks about you when others are around. Does she belittle you in front of friends, mock your opinions, or expose private issues to gain sympathy? A woman who loves you protects your image even when she's angry. When she turns arguments into public entertainment, it's because she no longer values your dignity. No relationship can thrive where respect ends at the door. The woman who truly honors you will correct you privately but defend you publicly. If she laughs when others mock you, if her jokes sting rather than amuse, understand this. She's not joking. She's revealing her contempt. The sixth sign, she tests your boundaries repeatedly. At first it seems playful. She goes through your phone just to check, flirts with others for fun, or violates promises she once agreed to. When confronted, she smiles, says you're overreacting, or calls you controlling. But boundary testing is never innocent. It's how manipulators measure how much they can get away with. Each time you forgive without consequence, she learns that your limits are negotiable, and soon you'll find yourself tolerating things you once swore you never would. Boundaries protect love. They don't restrict it. A woman who loves you honors them naturally, but a woman who crosses them repeatedly is not testing her freedom. She's testing your weakness. The seventh sign, she drains your energy instead of feeding it. Every interaction leaves you exhausted, not inspired. Her presence feels heavy, her mood unpredictable, her words critical. You try to help, to reassure, to fix, but nothing satisfies her. The problem is not that she's difficult. It's that she's emotionally unavailable. Some women feed off chaos because calm makes them confront their emptiness. They need drama to feel alive, and peace feels foreign. If your relationship feels like walking through a storm every day, understand, you can't save someone who enjoys the rain. A loving woman brings calm even in conflict. She makes your home feel like rest, not recovery. If she only brings turbulence, she's not your peace, she's your test. The eighth sign, she keeps her options open. Her loyalty is conditional. She keeps contact with exes as friends, hides her phone, or posts seductive photos, seeking validation while claiming she's committed. Her attention belongs to everyone but you. This type of woman thrives on attention because it fills what self-love should. She measures her worth by how many eyes are watching, not by the heart that truly values her. When you question it, she'll accuse you of insecurity. But understand this. Loyalty isn't proven by words, it's revealed in consistency. When a woman loves you truly, she closes every door that could let temptation walk in. She doesn't need constant male approval because her validation comes from within. Don't confuse popularity with confidence. One seeks applause, the other seeks peace. The ninth sign, she doesn't support your growth. The right woman will challenge you to be better but never make you feel inadequate for trying. The wrong one will criticize every improvement because it threatens her control. She'll dismiss your goals, mock your discipline, or distract you when you're focused. Why? Because your growth highlights her stagnation. Some women love the version of you that needs them, not the version that leads them. But a queen celebrates her king's evolution because she knows his strength elevates them both. If your ambition irritates her, leave. Love should feel like wind beneath your wings, not chains around your feet. A woman who fears your potential will secretly sabotage it. You deserve someone who looks at your progress and says, "I'm proud, not you've changed." The 10th and final sign, she disrespects your peace. You'll know it because you'll feel constantly anxious. You'll wait for her mood to shift, her tone to change, her next complaint to surface. You'll realize that your silence no longer feels restful. It feels tense. Peace is the foundation of masculine strength. Without it, you can't build, focus, or lead. If she thrives on chaos, argument, or emotional games, she's stealing your power. A man who sacrifices his peace for love will eventually lose both. Real love does not feel like walking on broken glass. It feels like standing in sunlight. When a woman brings you more confusion than clarity, more pain than progress, it's time to let go. Leaving doesn't mean you failed. It means you finally chose yourself. Now understand this. Every woman who does these things isn't evil. Some are simply unhealed. But you can't heal someone who doesn't see their own wound. You can love her, forgive her, pray for her, but you cannot fix her by breaking yourself. The hardest lesson every man must learn is that walking away is sometimes the most powerful form of love for yourself. When you stop chasing those who drain you, you create space for the one who'll cherish you. The woman who truly deserves you won't play games with your emotions. She'll bring peace to your mind. She won't compete with your vision. She'll help you build it. She won't test your patience. She'll honor your boundaries. She won't make you question your worth. She'll remind you of it. She won't silence your voice. She'll make you feel heard. A real woman doesn't demand your loyalty. She earns it through her consistency. She doesn't need to manipulate love. She embodies it. That kind of love doesn't suffocate. It liberates. But you'll never meet her if you stay chained to the one who only mirrors your fears. Many men stay because they confuse attachment with loyalty. They believe endurance equals love. But love without respect is slow poison. Every time you accept less than you deserve, you teach your soul to settle. You deserve softness, admiration, partnership. You deserve to be seen, not for what you provide, but for who you are. The world is already heavy. Your relationship should be your rest, not your burden. So when she disrespects, manipulates, competes, or drains you, understand that walking away is not bitterness, it's wisdom. And wisdom, like peace, is a form of wealth. The man who protects his peace protects his future. The woman who honors that, peace, will never make him choose between love and himself. Remember this truth. The right woman will never make you beg for the basics: respect, honesty, effort, and peace. And when you find her, you'll understand why every wrong one had to leave, because sometimes losing her is the very thing that saves you.